Welcome to another edition of Local Focus. I'm your host, Sebastian Noel. We're almost into November here. I am so excited about November, and I think you're going to be excited about November too. So the Proview guys and I, we've taken up golf. And as you might expect, we're pretty awful at it. So I decided I'd reach out to one of the best golfers in the state. So he'll be coming up in November. Also, Tyler Keeney. You all know Tyler Keeney. He's been on the show before, UCLA commit. Well, if you're on social media at all, you may have heard about his just amazing speech up in Santa Fe, where he talked about kids getting a right to play, and he let the governor have it pretty good. So Tyler will be back in studio because we want to touch base with him about that and a lot more. So November's going to be pretty cool. Hopefully, this golfer can give us some golf tips because we need it here on Team Proview. We need the help. But this week, we want to do something a little different. I want to talk about the NACA boys basketball program. What if I told you there was a basketball program in this city that didn't have a home gym, used to not wear matching uniforms, goes through coaches quicker than they change the nets at their gyms? Well, that exists. That's happening right here in this city in Albuquerque. So while we've had some of the biggest basketball stars on this show, today I really want to focus on NACA, Native American Community Academy, and their boys basketball program, and their athletics in general. So here to help me do that is one of their basketball players, LJ Bradford. LJ, welcome to the show, man.
Thank you for having me.
I'm glad you're here. First, let's talk about your background a little bit before we dive into this this whole thing at NACA. Let's talk about you. I'm imagining you've played sports for a while because when you walked in, pretty tall guy. So I'm going to guess there's more than just basketball in your background. Tell me about that.
Well, I played football my middle school years from elementary, starting in elementary.
And basketball the whole time, or when did that start?
Yeah, I started when I was pretty young, maybe first grade. Finally played in like an actual league, so started pretty young.
So tell me about the development of when you said you started when you were about 1. So take us back to that. I mean, where did that start? In the backyard, in the garage, where,
At the park, I remember it was at the park, always watching my dad and them play pickup games. So.
Right. But nothing organized really until when?
First grade.
First grade, okay.
Yeah.
And so when did you choose basketball over football?
That's tough. Probably 8th grade. After the football season had ended, I think I was ready to start giving basketball more.
Right. Now, was the plan always for you to go to NACA?
I think towards the end of my 5th grade year, we finally discovered NACA, and I think that's when the choice was made.
Right. No football program at NACA, correct?
No.
Okay. So let's talk about being an athlete at NACA. So you're a junior, I believe, right?
Yes.
So just talk about being an athlete at NACA. You go in there your freshman year or your 8th grade year. When was your first year there?
Actually, 6th grade.
Okay. All right. So just give us the lay of the land. What's it like to be an athlete at NACA?
It's pretty fun, having that community behind you, always there to support you. So I would say it's pretty fun. We have a lot of challenges that we face, but it's just another way that we persevere.
Right. So obviously you're doing these things because, 1, you're athletic, 2, maybe you want to use that to get into some post-secondary education opportunities, right? If you had to guesstimate, how many athletes are there at NACA?
About maybe a little bit more than 100.
Okay. So you guys have, I know you have basketball. What else? What other sports are offered there at NACA?
Basketball, volleyball, track, cross country. I think that's about it.
Okay. All right. So you talked about some of those challenges, right? So, well, first of all, I mean, what do you compare it to? Do you have friends outside of NACA that go to APS schools or go to Rio Rancho or whatever? So do you have something to compare it to?
Yeah, definitely. I have some friends that go to APS schools.
Okay, so let's go through some comparison. I mean, what are some of the things that you guys go through that they don't have to?
It's easy for them to get into a gym whenever, even after school, not during the basketball season, they could get into a gym. It's pretty hard for us to, come together when we want to, just to get a little bit of shots up if we want.
Right.
Easy access gyms for them, stuff like that. I think that's the biggest difference.
So facilities, right, it doesn't just mean a gym, right? Now I'm thinking weight room and stuff, all the stuff that goes in with that. What other challenges are there at NACA?
Yeah, I think facilities is the biggest thing. I think that's not really our main focus. That's why. So
Right.
facilities is the biggest thing.
So when you talk to some of your friends about those things, you know, what's the thing that you hear them say and you're like, man, we don't have that. I wish we had that. Like, what's the one thing they bring up where it really gets you jealous?
To me, is the basketball gym.
The home gym, right? Because
Yeah.
you hear those stories, especially with Native communities, how they absolutely just love basketball, right? And so you hear those stories about full home gyms, right? But you guys have never experienced that, right?
No.
That's pretty different. I mean, think about that, folks. No home gym. We're going to take our first commercial break, but we're going to delve into that some more. We'll talk to LJ about his freshman year and varsity basketball, and then we'll start talking about some of the things that he's had to face as a boys basketball player at NACA, which includes a lot of coaching changes. The parents and players at NACA are not happy after a current coaching change that just occurred. We'll cover that next. You're watching Local Focus.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of Proview Sports Network. Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of Proview Sports Network.
Let's see if Melfi can cash it in. He's got some protection. Deep ball. Erickson's open. Touchdown, Monarchs.
Second and 10. Smith looking, and he's going to fire over the middle, and he's got his guy. And it's another big play. Walking away for a touchdown, Tristan Altier.
They're going to hand it off to Chavez. Chavez breaking tackles. Look out. Chavez up the sideline. Stays in bounds. Touchdown. Volcanovis.
That replay to
Yeah,
just
gotcha.
get the measurement. I mean,
Smith's got a fire on first down, and he's on the outside. There's a lot of room for Brad Thomas. A move, and he's set free. Dance into the end zone. Touchdown. So it goes.
He'll run with it. Stumbling. Gets down into the end zone. They're looking to throw it. And he throws it in the end zone. Caught!
First and 10 from the 11. And spin move for Smith. Push the B button. Dance into the end zone.
He'll throw it. Looking. Here comes the rush. Stepping up. Pavia now running around. Being chased. Looks across. Throws it up. Man's wide open. Ball is caught. Touchdown. Jimmy Gaye. Chavez dropping, looking, stepping up. He's going to run. He's got a lot of green in front of him. To the end zone. Touchdown. Rio Rancho, Isaiah Chavez. Chavez set. He's going to run with it again and dives and...
It's Austin Smith, and to the outside, a lot of room. Look out, a foot race down the sideline. All the way on the first play from scrimmage, Chris. That's a touchdown.
Scrambling. And off, great hit. He bounces off outside. Got some daylight at the 20, the 10, the 5. What an incredible run.
Back with NACA's LJ Bradford, basketball player at NACA Academy. We kind of talked about some of the challenges, and now we really want to focus in on boys basketball, and we're gonna, the purpose of today was you guys have had a coaching change, and you're not happy about it as players, and I know parents aren't happy about it, and so we're gonna get into that, which is not to cast aspersion on the new coach. Heck, I don't even know who it is, but you guys are very unhappy with the change that was made there. So we're going to work our way up to that. But let's start out with your first year of varsity basketball. When was that?
My 8th grade year.
Okay, so 8th grade varsity, you obviously have some game. Talk about that. What was your first impression, right? Usually as an athlete, oh man, varsity, that's the big deal. You make varsity. Okay, you're a varsity basketball player. What was your first kind of thought, first impression?
Like, it was crazy to me, My whole plan that year was just to make the tryouts. I didn't think I was actually going to make the team that year. It was crazy to me, and I think a couple of the other 8th graders that joined is crazy.
And so you get through the season. Tell us about that.
It was a rough ride, Not the best season, not the season I was proud of for my 8th grade year, but it's a learning experience.
Right. So from a win-loss standpoint, right, there's a lot more to it than just wins and losses, right? So what are some of the other things that were happening that you weren't real thrilled about?
I would say practices. Practices were not what I expected them to be.
Right. Well, let's go there. What were your expectations of practice?
I was expecting, high intensity practices, full speed practices.
Right. And what were you guys doing?
Layup drills,
Okay.
stuff we've been doing since middle school,
Right.
basically.
All right. So now you've been through how many coaches?
Say 6 years at NACA, 5 I would say, almost every year.
That's not normal, right?
Yeah,
So,
no.
all right. So let's fast forward a little bit, right? Well, actually, you know what? Let me tell you. So my first encounter with NACA, so a friend of mine's son goes to NACA or went to NACA, and so we decided to go to a basketball game. I'm always, if I'm not doing a game, I'll go watch a game. So I decided, all right, let's go to a NACA game. So we have to drive to I don't know where to find this warehouse thing that was kind of a gym up here near downtown. And what I saw was not high school basketball. Uniform shorts not matching. A couple of kids that showed up right before tip. Kids getting technicals for bad sportsmanship, kids being allowed to shoot threes from half court. To me, I usually broadcast games, and I went to this, and I was like in a culture shock. I'm like, what is going on here? So is that kind of like, that's some of the stuff you're talking about? With some of this, that's not normal, right?
No, it's sort of normal at our school.
Okay, right. But that started to change, right?
Yeah, over the years.
So the school brought in J.P. Rael to be the new boys basketball coach. Obviously, he had a resume from Sandia Prep coming in as the girls coach there. What changed when J.P. took over?
Man, a lot of things changed. The way we looked at the game is not just a team, but as individuals. We started to come together and realize that, teamwork makes the dream work, like they always say.
Teamwork makes the dream work. Can we use that?
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to use that on the air sometime. All right, I like that. You said it also changed you guys as individuals. I know from speaking to JP in the past, individual development is really important, right? So did you think that you and some of the guys started putting in a lot more work and time once JP arrived?
Definitely. I think once we, got what he was trying to get to us, we started on it right away. It was more than just, the team practices that were mandatory. We started doing our own workouts at home when we had extra time. It was,
Right. Do you think he realized what he was getting into?
No.
No, right? So he had to experience that for himself. The first time where no one's got rides to games, the first time where no gyms booked, right? So talk about that's continued to happen, right? But how did he kind of handle those things?
You know, he handled it with, you know, he was very calm about it. He knew that we faced adversity like that, and, you know, he really gave it his all when it came to things like that. You know, rides to games, rides to practices. He would always try to find a way to help us out.
Right. And I know that was the first year you guys had some pretty sharp-looking uniforms finally. Right?
Yeah, finally.
So, and that's a big thing, right, for players. I mean, we kind of chuckle about it now, but, man, when you're a high school kid, dude, that uni matters, right? I mean, you're proud of that, right?
Yeah, I got to make sure the pictures are nice.
Right, exactly. What other changes are going on now? I mean, JP obviously had an impact on the basketball product, right? But what kind of impact did he have on you guys as individuals away from basketball?
We started treating each other with more respect. You know, he came in not just talking about, you know, teaching us basketball lessons. He taught us lessons about life that not a lot of coaches that we've had told us about. So,
what take me into that first practice? What was that like?
First practice, it was, I would say, an eye-opener.
Right.
A lot of us were not used to how he was doing things, but it was the right way of doing things to me. So a lot of guys were shocked at what was happening.
Was the basketball player in you saying, finally? I mean, were you were
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure there were some guys huffing and puffing, maybe even some throwing up like, you know, the Lobos do, but was the competitor in you saying finally?
Yeah, especially when, you know, he got on us for the little things that the other coaches wouldn't get on us for.
Right. Now, what are some of the changes on the floor? Obviously things had to change on the floor. Results-wise, you know, the record shows that there were changes. So what was different with the actual finished product out on the floor?
It was a huge upgrade to us, I think, going from, you know, the way we played the year before to that year. It was a big upgrade.
I mean, what did that do to you guys as individuals, as far as your confidence, as far as just everything?
Our confidence went up extremely, and then not only that, our chemistry with each other went up. So,
and then the season, at the end of the season, you know, what happened then? You guys continue to put in work. I saw on your Facebook page you guys are still shooting, and so was your impression, hey, you know, this is a first great step. I can't wait to make the next one. What were your impressions after the season?
yeah, we were just looking forward to making that next step the next year. So I think that was all of our, you know, expectations. We're not, shoot.
Right.
We're
Hey, you ready for that next step,
yeah,
right?
we're ready for that next step.
So, you know, a lot has happened. Matching uniforms, check. Good-looking uniforms, check. They start winning on the floor, check, right? First, foundations have been laid, right? Foundation is there. The kids are excited about this coming up year. Coach was not retained. We'll talk about that next.
Call it as Javi's looking, and he's got a guy wide open, and it's Gay, and he's gonna walk into the end zone. But he did a good job with it. First and goal, it's Chavez to the middle, and Chavez stops.
And Stevens in motion. On the handoff to Mitchell. Look out! Oh, see you later. Take it to the house. Fly, Cardinals fly. To the other side, provides some protection. And off to Webskowski again. Look out! See you later. Good night. Touchdown, Webskowski. An 8. 2 receivers at the top. Harris has all day. He's going to fire to the end zone. Open man! Touchdown! Wildcats! Not a defender inside.
A little bit.
Webskowski on the sideline! Hasta mañana! He's off to the races! Touchdown, Clovis!
Albuquerque this afternoon.
34-24, Rancho late in the third. How about this run? Nice play. Dickerman, he's still on his feet. Touchdown, Wolverine.
Exactly what they want to get yards.
He's going to go for it. He's got a guy towards the end zone. It's grabbed. Touchdown. What a play.
And long here for the Storm. Handoff to, we're going to fake the handoff, excuse me. Davidson on the deep ball. He's got some space, and it's caught. Still on his feet. Touchdown, Storm. Wow. Santa Maria.
And so they'll send one deep and returnable at the 2. Usually Volcano do either a reverse or a fake reverse, and here it is, a reverse. And a move to the outside. There is a lane. Look out! Shot out of a cannon. Rodriguez is going to take it all the way.
The New Mexico High School Coaches Association, established in 1941, is an organization of New Mexico's best and most professional interscholastic coaches. Coaches across work daily to help our student athletes excel in the classroom, on the field of play, and in our communities. Students that participate in interscholastic activities attain higher grades, higher graduation rates, and higher wages. Responsible for the North-South All-Star Games, statewide Coaches Award Program, and providing multiple professional development opportunities for New Mexico's coaches. Be a great coach by coaching beyond the game.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number 1. Cover it with green stuff, 1 scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of Proview Sports Network. Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of Proview Sports Network.
Back with NACA's LJ Bradford here on Local Focus. So now we're kind of up to the point where coach has not been retained. What was that news like for you guys as players when you heard that Coach Rael was not coming back?
It was shocking to us, you know. The effect that he had on us, it was more than just basketball. So, you know, it was a shocker to us to find out that he wasn't going to be our coach next year.
Now, you guys have been working during the offseason, I know pre-COVID. I mean, you guys are doing some impressive stuff on your social media as far as getting shots up, workouts. And JP kind of helped put all that stuff together, right? Talk about that.
You know, he told us if we wanted it to happen during the season, we would have to do something during the off season. And that, you know, sparked a light in us to get us off the couches, get us outside and onto the courts. So,
Now, how did you find out? I mean, who told you that Coach wasn't going to be back?
JP himself.
Okay. And so what was that like? Well, take us into that room, that conversation.
At first, we thought it was a joke, you know. April Fool's, you missed it. But a couple days later, you know, we had to face reality. And it was sort of hard for us, but, you know.
Now, was there anything during the season? You know, obviously, you know, he's at times he's having to find places for you guys to practice, right? Because from what I know, from what I've been led to believe, and from what I've seen, as far as email exchanges, that places were not secured for you guys to practice, right? So he's had to take care of that. He took care of securing some equipment, right? So you get, you know, some new equipment. And at times just coordinating rides to games and stuff, he took care of a lot of that, right? So in your mind as a player, would there be any reason for him not to be back this year?
I think there's no reason that he shouldn't be back. Wait, is that right?
Right, yeah, absolutely, yeah. What did the school tell you? I mean, have you talked to Coach Royale? He said, "Hey guys, I'm not going to be back." But obviously you guys were upset, right?
Yeah.
Did you guys make your feelings known to them that you were not happy?
I think we're in the process of that right now.
Right.
Letting them know how we feel about it.
So tell us about that. I mean, you guys had some parent meetings, I understand, some student meetings, right? And so how do you think that's going to go?
Hopefully it goes well. Right now it's uncertain of the results, but
right. So I mean, you'd be going on your 6th coach, right? A new coach would be your 6th coach. So I mean, have you talked to your teammates and everything about this? I mean, what's the mood and mindset of the team at the moment?
We're all feeling the same exact way. This isn't right. I think we all think that our coach should be back.
Right. You ever take time to look back? I mean, when you guys present your case to whoever you're presenting your case to, you guys look back on that journey from basically not matching uniforms, shooting from half court, doing all this crazy stuff, to, I mean, you guys were a pretty good program last year. You were in a lot of games. The record was better. The uniforms were looking fly. Everything is, you're looking like a real basketball team out there. Do you ever look back on that? And is that something that you're going to try to present to whoever you speak to?
Yeah, I think that's something we need to, bring up. The evolution of the basketball program over the years.
Right.
I think we've made a great upgrade, definitely.
Let me ask you this. If you weren't playing basketball after school, what would you be doing?
In my room, probably not doing nothing.
Right.
Gaining weight.
So that brings back, the larger discussion that has been going on social media a lot, right? What is the purpose of interscholastic athletics, right? And the purpose is to give kids something to do, to keep them out of trouble, right? Like LJ said, keep them in shape, things like that. So, I hope this show helps. I'm really glad you came by. I'm really glad I got to put this kind of situation in focus, if you will. I'm going to make an editorial comment here at the end of the show, but, I've seen the before picture and I've seen the after picture. Obviously, things are trending in the right direction. It's not really fair to a kid to go through 6 coaches in 6 seasons, right? So if the basketball has gotten better, the kids seem to have gotten better from a mental health standpoint, from a confidence standpoint. That is the purpose of athletics. But I guess the question is, why even have athletics at NACA if you seemingly care so little about it, right? Because to me, it sounds like the students are not being heard and the parents are not being heard. I could be wrong. And, if I am, let me know. You can contact me on social media. Love to hear about it. But from everything I've seen, and thanks to LJ for sharing today, you guys are in a really tough situation, and I hope it gets better. Thanks for coming in tonight, and thank you for watching. Good night, everybody.